one thing that I do find fascinating, and I really, this is a revelation in a lot of ways, is that I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be disgusting. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. Um, I often okay. That's the feeling that I have. Often I have this disgusted, internal. Um, the anger that I feel internally is really it's savagely, brutally, painfully writing messages that make me just feel disgusting and worthless and just egregious and not um, sociable and not worthy. And I was just thinking that I strive in life that you've made many efforts, to your credit, to be a good person, and when small things happen you feel this way, but you worry about yourself and you know that on whatever level it can help, that many people all day long are living lives of certain kinds of depravity that would be very hard for most people to take, because of a variety of different factors. And don't forget how fortunate you are, and how hard you do try. And it's very true. You really do try. You don't want to see people you admire as being better than you are or more capable. You yesterday were feeling that sense of insecurity, that sense of dread. I'm going to get myself into this situation. I'm insecure. I'm feeling really bad about going into this group of people, because they're going to talk shit about me, because I'm going to make a fool out of myself, or something's going to go wrong. And that wasn't the experience on any level yesterday. And I really strongly, I know you strongly don't want your actions to, even though they feel so egregious and so disgusting and so, the anger you feel, you think, I could channel that in a way that I could end up really regretting. And it's to your advantage that you realize you wouldn't want it that way. That when you're around people, even from an early age, I guess it's a weird thing to kind of make a blatant statement of it, because either you have these capabilities or you do not, for a variety of reasons. But you've always tried very hard, no matter how horrible you felt, to be a good person to other people. You've never, as much as you're angry inside, you realize that other people don't need that, and you try, you're around a group of people and you realize that there's a certain amount of love and respect that we should just be participating with on a daily basis. We should be interacting with love and peace and good feelings and not negativity and not conflict, and that is very important to you, and I know that it's just very powerful. You'll do wonderful things, just being that person and realizing that. And you were saying earlier that yesterday before you left, you felt sick in the head, and you were saying, well, when somebody doesn't feel well for a long period of time, things start going batty. You start feeling like you really are losing it, and depending on the circumstances, you can convince yourself that you've completely lost it, and you can convince, there can be all kinds of, you can convince yourself that, you can, if you try hard enough and the circumstances are right, you can convince yourself you're the devil. And that's the part where fantasy and reality come into play, that you realize that your circumstances put you in a situation where you're spiraling out of control and you're catastrophizing. And it's all fantasy-oriented bullshit. It's not real. And it's not necessary. And you said to yourself, if you go on and on and on thinking like this, it's just... It just makes sense that you're not going to feel well, and so you're not going to be able to communicate well, and then because you're not feeling well, you're going to misplace things, and you're going to do things that frustrate you. It's just more likely that you're not going to be motivated to do the things that you should be doing, and so that's true. But part of well, I don't want you to worry. Part of the reason why I feel like this is completely relevant is because when you were at the cabin, you were having an anxiety attack. I mean, there was something going on at the cabin where you were loaded with anxiety on Sunday, and John and Dad had brother and dad had left, and you were, kind of over it, and yet something else was festering. Something deep was like, even though you were at the cabin, there were a lot of difficult feelings, and you were saying to yourself how much you want to wean yourself from the decks and take care. And I just want you to know that sometimes it's easy to overlook that you're going through a certain hard period at any given time. It's easy to dismiss it and go, well, no, it shouldn't be that way. I'm a big boy now. But that doesn't mean you're not really honestly going through a hard period for genuine reasons.